Hello again, friends. Welcome back to twitch.tv/TrooperBerry, and welcome back to more of the Long Dark and our continuing efforts in the Dance with the Darkwalker tournament. Now, this is our second full run. This is our Outer Walker run, which is what we're calling it. Basically, what we're trying to do is spend no time indoors. Like the indoor cheese, milking the fog timer in every building, that's the meta. But we reject the meta. I want to know if we do it strictly out of doors, what kind of time can we put together? Now, we won't know until we're done, obviously, because the game doesn't track real-time survived. Well, that's fine, we'll get there. So, one small mea culpa I noticed while I was uploading the VODs to YouTube. While we were sitting on the steps of the dam, milking the clock there in Mystery Lake, we could have, if I had remembered this, we could have just taken a quick left turn, gone into the ravine, and then got the last 8% on the timer in the ravine to keep up our perfect record. Now, it's 8% in the ravine. The ravine's a small zone. It would be a couple minutes at most. So, we're not going to make up any ground on Slid in his near 13-hour run. Trust me. But, let's see. Apparently, we're getting knocked down into third place because Stefosticat beat us by like 10 minutes or something. And we should go fine. 2 weeks in and people are just now passing me? Good grief. Hey, Nylan, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Hope your week is going all right. We're just getting ramped up here, amped up, geeked up. Oh, right. I got a reminder to myself. We have yet to use the Fog Buster. And I guess if we're going to get maximum value out of that, we probably should do it in PV. So right now we're sitting right at the exit to Timberwolf Mountain. Here, we'll pick it up. It might be noisy when we do. Let's find out. Well, okay, not that noisy. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I do still have Dispel Fog. And I did drop all my food, yes. Yeah, you're empty, that's fine. So what I think we might do is actually let it tick up to 100%, then drop the Fog Buster, and then so we can get the full 50% in a bigger zone. And then we'll see. But hope everyone's week is going all right. Happy Friday to everyone. Except for our friends in Australia and New Zealand, for whom it might even be Saturday by now. It hasn't been as draining of a week as the last couple have been. And I think part of that has to do with it actually, we had thunderstorms roll through today, so the temperature actually started with a 2, just for a change. It'd been weeks since we had that. But yeah, that's summer for you. What are you gonna do? Been too hot? I know the feeling. Yeah, it got. It has been hot enough to where even our, do nothing government has been basically pushed to re-examine like the heat stress warnings. Like it was like 36, 37 with 80% humidity. So like the what was it, like the wet bulb temperature or the real feel? It was like in the mid 40s, and it was still like the warning was at the lowest level. So you'd have to have some kind of stupidly dangerous high temperature and humidity to apparently just to get to the middle warning. Like they go like it's amber, red, then black, and like I think like this past week it got up to like 52 degrees in Kuwait. Maybe that's what we need to actually see get the to go past the basic warning level. But anyway, we'll see whether they actually do anything. They're just talking about doing something now. Eastern Air Temple at 25% has been 30%. Oh, Gosh, long COVID in the heat is not a happy one. Right. And you're still getting the same ad. Well, yeah. So whoever's in charge of ad sales for the UK market is sleeping on the job. Okay, what? Yeah, this ward might give out before the timer does. How much paint do we have? 2 3/4 cans. Okay, we're fine. And we'll just do that preemptively. Oh, do I have any go drinks on me? I do not. Good. Okay. Yeah, and I know like your buildings are made to keep heat in, which is the opposite of what we got here. Uh, give it another 2 months and things might be tolerable. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and it's back down to 50%. Perfect. Yeah, we were only in that for a few seconds. And that took our health down almost out of the buff from well fed. Wow. Okay, so that's done. Right. So when this when this goes out, then we hit up. We hit Timberwolf. I will go into. Yeah, I'll go into Mountaineers because we went into the outdoor area of the maintenance yard in Broken Railroad. So if that's fair game, then Mountaineers is fair game. I don't think we'll sleep there though. Your flat's amazing in the winter. Well, good. It's at least it has one season where it shines. So, yeah, I've honestly I have not been up to much this past week because ever since, not last, basically ever since the start of the month, when we lost, our one guy went away, and then basically I got told my position is going to be eliminated at some point. Ever since then, it's basically been all hands to the pumps, because basically if one person is away on vacation, we're scrambling. So I have not had much free time to myself. I saw Kimmy stream, left the Milton farmhouse as the fog started. Got out like 20% health after 2 stims. Well, I have 2 stims, and I think, are we gonna get a third? I think we get a third at, well, we get a third at the Timberwolf Fire, and then, yeah, we could get. Is there one at Miner's Folly? In the barn with the fire barrel and the workbench, the medical kit in there. think I think that's still a spawn, but I don't know if that's a guarantee or an RNG spawn. Because I guess so. Here's what I would say to that, Nyland. If I was gonna do that, I would do it right at the end. Like, I would be in the banishment circle, making sure I had at least a couple paint charges left. And then we would let the fog happen, pop 1 stim, let that wear off. I mean, just basically work through all of them. I have prepared birch, but honestly, like, the damage from toxic fog happens so quickly, it feels like it wouldn't really be worth it. Now, the tricky part for that would be, I would need to make sure I still had enough health left to withstand the fear damage once you put down the pineapple, and then the Darkwalker comes charging, and he's within 50 meters. So you probably want... So, yeah, when you put down the pineapple, you would probably want at least like 30, like a third health. You think it makes sense just leaving a region, because then you have a chance to heal it with wards in the next region. But if we do it at the end in Ash Canyon, we don't have to worry about it because the challenge is done. But you're right. If you are going to do it, then yeah, if you're going to do that before Ash, then yeah, leaving a zone makes the most sense. Because then you do give yourself a chance to heal and let that Voyager health regen work its magic. Actually, I checked. Okay, we are fully loaded there. That's good. Because there's a half decent chance we're going to encounter Timbies, either on Crystal Lake or by the fishing hut in Ash. Oh, here's the question though. We've seen how fast the fog does bring down our condition. I think, yeah, toxic fog plus Darkwalker, that could very well kill you before the, yeah, because like the stim, it works for like an in-game hour, something like that, 30 minutes. It's, yeah, those two combined could very well kill us before we have a chance to pop a second stim. Ooh, okay. I'm starting to have second thoughts about that. Because, yeah, even just being near the Darkwalker just wrecks your health. And I think now, I saw this on the wiki, so take that grain of salt. But Toxic Fog does something like 70% damage per hour. So it's really not something you want to protract. Because like a stim gives you back 15. It's pretty hard there sprinting out. I would think so, yeah. I would almost think you would want, yeah, rather than say like at the farmhouse, if you were going to do that before Ash, you'd want to do it like when you're parked right at the exit. Like in Timberwolf, you want to do it like right in Echo Ravine. 50% per real minute is what you heard. Okay, yeah, then you wouldn't have time for the stim to wear off before you'd basically be wrecked. So if that's the case, let's say we get a stim at the Timberwolf Fire. That's 45% health. So what you could do is you could park yourself at the exit, drop wards, and then tank some damage, hit a stim, maybe do it a second time. I think that makes more sense. You don't know why Kimmy did it? They only joined a stream about 15 minutes before the win of this. Okay, well, it's Kimmy, so you can be pretty well certain that it was thought through. That guy is an absolute machine, and I say that in the most complimentary way possible. But he might have just been testing stuff too. He does do that. Now, when you say he left from the from the farmhouse, which way did he leave? Did he leave via the basin, via HRV, or going to Mystery Lake? Because one of those makes way more sense than the other two. FM5. Okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Because you'd have to be motoring down those climbs to stay ahead of the Darkwalker, and then just on a, well, I'd say, yeah, you'd be on a dead sprint through the basin, but you wouldn't have to worry about the wolves because they'd be dead too. They die just like the rest of the wildlife. Okay, well, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. I know we're not finishing in the money. Like, Sophosticat, if Slid's already in first place, Thomasina's got some behemoth run going. I know Tina's got a good run going. Sophosticat's ahead of us. What? And it's most likely that this run isn't. It's probably going to be shorter than our initial run because we haven't done any indoor cheese here. Now, granted, we didn't really do that much in the first run either. I think we hung out for a little bit. We did more. We went into loot. We did a lot of that. That's how we finished with like, 3 or 4 extra tins of coffee, 8 extra paint cans. Yeah, we didn't actually do the full-on cheese, so who knows? You're not gonna say, Kim, yeah, me neither. I'll do some gutsy things in this game, but I'm not gonna go that far. Okay. How about this? Let's try some stuff. Let's try that the stem delay cheese strat whatever in Timberwolf Mountain, but we're gonna do it at the exit. Because what I what I would what I'm thinking is we can pop 1, maybe 2 stems, but if things get hairy, the exit is right there. We have 1 more for an emergency, and we can, when we get into ash, we just pop a wart down. We drink I'll make a birch tea at the fire, and then we'll let the regen work its magic. Yeah, we'll try that. And hey, if we beef it, this run was just for funsies anyway, so what the heck? Now, are we going to do this again? I don't think so. Because here's the thing. We put forth a good effort. We got a time on the board. And for half the tournament, we actually stayed in the money, which is not something I expected. But yeah, I don't. If we were going to min max, from everything I've seen, I don't know that I would find that enjoyable. And if we weren't going to min max, then why would we do it again? I don't necessarily have any new strats, and I basically just be doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, do we go back and get that last 8% in the ravine? Is that worth a whole other run? I'm not so sure it is. Although speaking of returning to Darkwalker, I actually found out today, our friend Three Cats and Coat, no longer the world record holder in speedrunning this challenge. I think she had it for about a year, or actually maybe two. But according to speedrun.com, Nuka is the new world champ. I think they posted a winning run about a year ago. I think it's like an hour 24, something like that, which is just wild. You know, here I was, you know, kind of being all proud of myself, getting a run in like 2 hours and 20 something. I mean, in fairness, still a decent time. But I think as Katz and Sai said at the time, if I'm gonna crack 2 hours, I'm gonna have to be a lot meaner to Astrid. I'm gonna have to play fast and loose with her condition. And I like logically I know that. I can see that. I know I can see why that is the case. But emotionally I feel bad doing that. And it's just, outing myself as a complete softie. You know, I it's a fictional character in a video game. You know, one in which I have died many a time. But despite all that, it feels like I'm letting her down. Like I'm being a bad, not a bad parent, the bad supervisor, overlord. I don't know. I'm not taking good care of my Astrid, and that doesn't sit well with me. A bad custodian, yeah, something like that. You know, she's not my Dick Grayson, not my youthful ward. But yeah, it's I don't. Maybe I'll have to just train that out of myself if I'm gonna do that. And going back to speed running Darkwalker would be some good counter programming to everything that's happening this month. Okay, we're back up to 90%. Lovely. You need to try regular Darkwalker, okay, but it proved a bit too much. All right, well, that's fine. It's not going anywhere, so absolutely take your time or don't. You know, it's fine. And I will say, if you care about such things, if you want the challenge mastery achievement on Steam, as it turns out, you don't actually have to beat every single challenge. You can skip one. Because I think they put that in there, I think before they added, was it As the Dead Sleeper? I think it was As the Dead Sleeper Darkwalker, one of those two. Because I remember, yeah, it happened for a lot of people. They go in an order, you beat Nomad, Archivist, Wideout, Hopeless Rescue, Hunted Part 1, Hunted Part 2, and then Darkwalker. That still leaves As the Dead Sleep, but I got the achievement. Which, as it turns out, Well, we eventually did anyway, just, for honor and for the experience. The only other challenge you're kind of interested in is As the Dead Sleep, which is meant to be rather difficult because of the concept of it. Oh, that's fair. And yeah, I will say it is definitely difficult, but it's difficult in a familiar way. As long as you know about the lack of health regen going in, like if you know Nogoa or Dead Man, you're pretty well equipped to face As the Dead Sleep. Whereas this is just a whole different way to play. Although I will say there are ways you can make the other one spicier, like Hopeless Rescue. Do it naked, or do whiteout, but you're not allowed to. You're only allowed to bring in stuff from outside regions. Like nothing you find in, you can't actually loot Coastal Highway itself. There's probably ways to make Nomad interesting. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but they could exist. Okay, I am, well, this could be tight, but I think the ward's going to give out before the fog timer. But yeah, definitely try As the Dead Sleep. It took me a couple tries because poor Astrid got eaten by a man-eating snow shelter. I think it was when you were still having the double snow shelter bug where you climb, if you got into one, you could get stuck in there because like the game actually registered 2 snow shelters on the way out, and you could only ever interact with the first one. So, rip bozo, as the kids say. D5. Okay, no, I don't think that ward is gonna last. There we go. Yeah, just to make sure. We want no unpleasant surprises. And we still have 2 cans with more on the way. Hey, Lily, welcome in. Making challenges fun. Give us like the Hunt of Forever shit with the bear. Oh yeah. Especially when people were discovering that the bear will actually follow you up to the summit. How? Who knows? But it will. But good to see you, Lily. Hope your week's going all right. 4, 3, 2. There we go. Double fog in PV. Quickly.
It's not the wind howling.
There we go. I go, it's all right. Had just a
about that sound.
work from home Friday. The old routine. I was able to get a few more job applications sent out, so that was nice as well. I haven't heard anything back, and LinkedIn has completely fucked its job search. They got rid of the classic job search, and it's all AI powered now, and it's completely useless. The filters don't work.
Out here.
You can't do a worldwide search. It's just it's typical enshittification. So, and of course, LinkedIn is all on board because they're all AI pilled anyway. So, boo. But other than that, we're all right. How about you, Lily? Oh, god dang it.
That's right. There.
That was
Where are they?
a little close for my liking, not gonna lie. Is that a wolf? That is a wolf. Okay. Alright, so we narrowly avoided fear there. That's fine. Now, can we get enough separation
Not what I wanted to hear.
that we can get into Mountaineers and drop a ward before the proximity alarm goes off? I think so. As we'll find out soon. Don't need that. There we go. Get it for your affiliate anniversary. Oh, nice. What do you have anything planned? Anything fun? Any teasers you want to drop while you're here? Actually, I should start thinking about that myself. Yeah, we're gonna be, well, no, the stream anniversary is gonna be in October, and then the affiliate anniversary is gonna be in November. Oh, do we have Timbies? We do not. Hooray. Okay, quickly. Thank you. Hey, free coffee. We like it. Flare? Sure. How are we? Oh, we're alright. Alright. You want to play the TLD Time Castle? Wild Date and Elden Ring. Oh, wow. Elden Ring. Oh, I forgot. There's no safe house customization. Oh, there's actually nothing back there anyway. All right, never mind.
I'll take it.
No, we won't. Or do you? No. Yeah, so what were you looking for as far as Elden Ring? Like a challenge run for Elden Ring, or just dipping in?
This will come in handy.
Ooh, okay. That can actually be very useful, given the strategy we're looking at. Actually, you know what? I will take those to break down. Actually, no, I won't. Those are fine. You made a bit redemption on your channel to spawn in wolves and bears. Oh boy. And I imagine that there's no one in chat who would be eager to take advantage of those. TLD the wild. Okay. I think I've heard the name the Wild 8, but I'm not entirely sure what it is.
I could use this.
Could we? 82, 81, nah. Do we just go? Wait. No, I think those are, yeah, they look, yeah, those, yeah, there's only 2 of them. They look like regular wolves. Okay, I was concerned we might have Timbies waiting, between us and the fire, but I don't think that's the case. And you know what, if it is, it's close enough to where we should be able to sprint there. like TLD, Plane Crash and Wilderness Snow, but it's top-down isometric and set in Alaska with up to 8 players. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a new one on me. Well, good. Yes, it sounds like you've got a lot in store. Like, but TLD time capsule. What are you gonna do in the time capsule? Were you looking for just like a survival run? You gonna do like OG Loper? I've seen some people do, or you can do 4 days of night. I should do that at some point. But I'd be so paranoid about screwing something up and then messing up my the save for my long run. I would. Well, I need to. Yeah, I have to just like back up every single save and every single bit of information before I even attempt that. We just go. We just go. Well, but screw it. There. Yeah, because I don't want this ward up to interfere. Yeah, I don't want it to interfere with the ward at the fire. Yeah, let's just go. Playing with the official time capsule codes to secure your save on. Oh, okay. I did not know that. Good to know. That is somewhat reassuring. I will probably still wait, but it'll be. I guess I won't be as frantic if I do decide to follow through on that.
Okay.
No, ooh, maybe, yeah. Okay, that's enough. You have fun with that. Alrighty, Rudy. Now. Must watch for bear. Darkwalker remains your favorite challenge? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is that bear? Or is that rock? That is rock, okay. Again, I'm trying to crane my neck so I, streamer, can see over the hill in game. Doesn't have a good track record as a strat, but we're doing it anyway. But yeah, absolutely. The Darkwalker is, top of the pops for me. Okay. There is Bear coming back from Echo Ravine. Wait, no, not back from Echo Ravine, out of his cave. Probably going to Echo Ravine. Hey, Tina, welcome in. Thank you for the work lurk. Let me get to the fire and I can give people some proper welcomes. There's 3. The Timbies are around the fire again. Oh mein Gott. HRV and Timberwolf. This is obscene. I'm going to do it now. Because I was going to do it when we get to the fire. But turns out when we get to the fire, we're going to be shooting.
What? gonna work. Are you coming
Yeah.
after me or are you running?
Peg it. Show it who's boss. I guess the bear doesn't play by hacky sack rules. Oh, and Tina as well.
Oh my gosh. I do enjoy bad jokes far too much, I know. Sometimes it's just the absurdity of them or the wordplay that just tickles me. It just does. It tickles me, okay? Lots of things tickle me, though. That sounded really bad. No. People and things don't tickle. Never mind. I'm just going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Well, to answer your question, Tina, I was doing just fine until this bunch showed up. Well, there's one. My concern is the bear's going to hear these shots. He's going to come over here and investigate. Or if he doesn't, the Darkwalker will. That was high. Gosh dang it. Well, here we are. Just take a second here. Yeah, we're going to do this whole routine again. There's two. We might get to revolver 3 on this run. Or not. No, take your time. Okay, I had the reticle right on it. That is rude. I'm not going to touch that. Not yet. Fuck's sake. Where's that aim assist when you need it? Okay, I'm yanking it and I'm aiming high. Here, give me the can. See, I've hit 2 of them. They're going to bleed out and die eventually. Oh, how did that miss? I ask you. I'm doing the same thing again. And so are they. There we go. That's 3. How's my revolver? 56. Okay, that's not too bad. 4. Well, that was enlightening. Anyway, so yeah. How are we doing? We're doing all right. We did get another stim. Lovely. Ooh, I don't know about that. Also, why did I take those painkillers? Excuse me. Why would I need those? Anyway. Let's make ourselves some birch tea. Because we might be taking some damage intentionally, as opposed to the other kind. Any crafting? No. Alright. But yeah, yeah, this week it wasn't as harrowing as the last couple have been. And I would say today was better still because we had thunderstorms roll through, so the temperature was in the 20s rather than the 30s. I did get a few more job applications sent off. Or, so we got, what, 2 in Taiwan, 1 in Vietnam, 1 in the UAE, and then 1 back in the US. Are we done? We are done. Lovely. Yeah, go ahead and make water, because I think we're probably going to be... Yeah, we are just about out. I see. Yeah, there was one that went away at National Geographic, but I'm not so broken up over that because they just had a bunch of layoffs. There we go. And there was one. It was like a kind of a government communication. It was like what they call those public information officers. One of those gigs in California. Yeah, turns out I was not as qualified for that as I thought I was. So we just had to let that one go. Oh well. Let's see. What else? Oh. There's still one I found in Australia that I'm almost certainly not qualified for, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Like, the worst they can say is no. Okay, grab. Absolutely grab. There we go. Oh, bear's over there. I didn't know the bear went over there. All right, works for me. Okay, so what we gonna do? We're gonna try something a little different. Nyland has clued me into something Kimiota tried. Now, it's going to be a little bit risky, but it could be a way to milk just a little more time.
Space.
Although we are once again going to be on the clock as we try to leave this zone. Because we got to respect the topography. D-Dubs will just walk right through it. He doesn't care. It goes in shape on... Oh, yeah. That's... Because, again, I'm on the board. I spent 2 weeks in the money, which is honestly way more than I expected. So, yeah. we'll try some stuff. We'll be wacky, and if we get got, if we die to our own hubris, among other things, then hey, it's a learning opportunity.
Never know. Could end up being useful.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, now. Boom. Well, hello, Kaiser Kyer. Joke's on you. This is the Darkwalker challenge. It's always right behind us. Ha ha! But welcome in, Kaiser. Yeah, so what we're going to do, I mean, we're going to do our normal routine of milking the clock and hanging out. But in addition, I want to see, well, we're going to have to, drop our goodies off in the next zone as a precaution, but we might intentionally hang out in the fog for a bit and see if we can stim our way through it. And it's going to have to be stims. We can't keep our birch tea on us because that would spoil in the fog. This has just occurred to me as I do this. How's the challenge going? It seems to be going all right. And then to answer Lily's question earlier, I don't actually know. Well, I can't give you an accurate estimate as to how long we've survived. I know that the 2 previous VODs for this challenge ran about like 3 hours 15 and about 3 hours 45. If I leave time out for, shout outs and yapping, I'd say we probably came into the start of this stream at 6 hours and something. Yeah, something like that. And we've been going for just about an hour. I think I spent like 5 or so minutes off the top, just doing our usual intro nonsense. So if we wanted to be guesstimating about it, I think we've been going for, I would say, at least 7 hours in this challenge. Yes, we started at the PV exit to Timberwolf. We got the fog. We used the fog buster, so we got the full 50%. And now we're finishing our time in Timberwolf Mountain. Yeah, Winding River, Crumbling Highway, Mystery Lake, Muskeg, Mountain Town. So far, this is the only spot we've been where we haven't maxed out the fog timer. I could have come back and did it last time when we were just kicking our heels on the steps of the dam. We could have popped in here, dealt with Scooter, and then got that last 8%, but oh well. And as I said earlier, it's 8% of the ravine, so it's a couple minutes real time tops. Yeah, HRV, PV, Broken Railroad, DP. None of those. We're about to go to Ash. No Blackrock, thank God. God, imagine if BlackRock was in the challenge. You're curious how the creator came up with this idea. Well, I will say, Kyre, you will find Fiat, bouncing around streams of people who are doing the challenge. So, hang around in one long enough, you can probably ask him yourself. Oh, are you with Sarah? You are a part of the Black Rocky tourism board? If Black Rock was you encountered even more Timmy's on fires than you actually have, well, we've got, but we had two. So again, it was two. Two is more than I would particularly like. There's like yes, Auntie Sarah, who she streams and then she is a regular on Bash Rope's channel. She is also a big BlackRock defender, so you are not alone. BlackRock and kick rocks. Yeah, so Lily probably is in the majority there. European, yeah. Honestly, I know I do I sass BlackRock a little, but yeah, I don't hate it. It's not my favorite, but it's also not my least favorite. That would be the eastern half of Sundred Pass. Your bug with the black box is a time spent beyond the loading screen of the prison isn't recorded properly. Oh, really? Really? I haven't heard that. What are people's problems with BlackRock? I think you can take a pretty educated guess what they are, Kyre. It is not cozy. Desolation Point is cozy. Broken Railroad is cozy. BlackRock is large. Okay, its weather isn't the worst. The airfield, Sundred Pass, Bleak. There are regions with worse weather. It's probably the Timbies have that force multiplier that make things feel more stressful than they probably are. When you went to the prison, you got moose stomped and killed the moose. Good, revenge. You stayed there while your rips healed, and it didn't record the time in the region. Really? Oh, that is interesting. Because I was thinking in my long run, we need to go and spend like 30 days in BlackRock, just one to pass time and two to say we did it. I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on the journal then, because I want credit for my time there. Kaiser, you've been moose stomped only once, never forget. It's probably happened a few times for me. You've had beef with BlackRockers in episode 4, understandable. Now, how much of that was the Steam puzzle, how much was the Timbies, and how much was everything else? You've been a great supporter of the forced displacement of the moose population. Well, they seem to do a good job displacing themselves, because they're never around when you want them to be. I think they move on like every 2 days or so, it seems. If I heard Bash correctly on the Survivor's Corner podcast, there's like there's a re-roll for whether they spawn like every couple days. So in a weird twist, Twitch chat's bloodlust when they see a moose is actually kind of justified, because if you don't kill it when you see it, you might not see it again for quite some time. And again, like Twitch chat needs an excuse to call for the murder of more Moosin. So the total days counted is accurate. The days in Blackrock is inaccurate. Oh. Okay, okay. Well, now that has me wondering. Because in my extended run, the total number of days in Blackrock is like way behind every other major zone. But now I'm starting to wonder if it actually should be more. Although, if you're right, and the total days counted is accurate, then all I'd need to do is just go down the journal, add up the days in each zone, and then if they match the number at the top, then yeah, everything is fine. If not, then we shave a few days off of our Blackrock itinerary for later. I'll have to remember that. There'd be some inaccuracies with that because the journal only shows whole days. Okay, well. I guess that's okay. You know, if it's within a day or two, you know, 2 or 3. You know, given the number of zones, maybe there's some rounding that isn't happening. Yeah, if it's within a couple days, it's probably fine. But if it's off like 6, 7, or more, then yeah, maybe there are some Blackrock discrepancies. Although, again, if you were really dedicated, you could go to the part of the journal that goes day by day. You know, starts counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., and so forth. You go through all of that, and then you count up your time in Blackrock. But if you got to run that's like hundreds of days long, that's a lot of scrolling. Lily, you looked on Google. Apparently, it's a known bug. Black will sometimes not correctly track how long you're there. Huh. Maybe that shows how little time I've spent in Blackrock that I didn't know that bug existed. Oh, what you realize is you went through the journal to work out when you entered Blackrock, when you left, and worked it out from there. Okay. Well, good sleuthing by you. But yeah, but to go back to Kaiser's question. Yeah, the weather's a little unfriendly, but it's not the worst out there. Obviously, there's the Timbies. Actually, if there's one thing that might be a bit of a ding, there's not a lot of cloth in the prison, is there? Or even in the region. Because I don't think, unless you find clothing, like where would there be curtains? Not at the prison. Not in the trailers. Not, where are the other... Yeah, not in the substation. Not at bricklayers. Yeah, not the trailers on the far side past Bear Bend. Not in the steam tunnels. Yeah. Are there some... Are there? Are there? About the only spot well, okay. Probably some pillows in the bunk like the bunk area in the prison. Like where like those 3 or 4 beds are. I know that there's a towel or two in the bathroom. No, actually, no, not even in the warden's office because he got them fancy Venetian blinds. Maybe there's an old bedroll in a trailer or two, but yeah, they did. Yeah, if you're especially if you're getting harassed by Timbies or blizzards or Timbies and blizzards, and you got clothing repairs to do, you might be in a bit of a spot there. Granted, it's not it's a well, it's a niche complaint until you're walking around with like 15% pants. But it is also the case that okay, if you think of the river as the dividing line, to the right of the river, yeah, you got the prison, you got the substation, you got bricklayers. There's a decent number of places you can shack up. But if you're on the other side of the river, you got what? There's that little trailer that's up a slope. You got the mine. I'm going over the map in my head. As far as places to sleep go, that's about it. Because you've been thinking about an idea for a future tournament, something about the vampire theme. You'll eat meat. Was it? Wands actually did one like that. Although I think he actually kept it to you could only eat raw meat. So obviously there was a lot of food poisoning going on there. But I think, other than that, I think he it wasn't a full-on tournament. It was just a challenge that he did. But obviously, there's still more ways you could go with that easily. Now you say, for you is no fishing. Is there none? Not even like ice holes on the river. Wow, that is harsh. Endless night turning off parasites and food poisoning on custom. Yeah, you could do that. So, yeah, you would that way your run wouldn't depend on how many antibiotics or mushrooms or burdock you could find. Okay, we only got 4 minutes to go. let's get our little shuttle run ready to go while we still have the ward up. And these, yes. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And back. Oh, where is the actual ward? Oh, here. Okay, good. Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't necessarily want Eternal Night. Yeah, you want to, make players adapt. Make them fear the burning eye in the sky. As you can take the character take damage there out in the sun. Yeah, that would take some coding. That would probably be challenging. Okay, so if I didn't explain it earlier, here's what we're gonna try. Let me make sure we have these on the radial. So because we have 4 of them, we're gonna see if we can tank some toxic fog damage. So we're gonna let the timer go to 0. We're gonna put up another ward, to keep Darkwalker at bay, because the toxic fog plus fear, that would probably destroy us real quick. But we'll let the fog happen. Our health will drop. We'll pop a stim. We'll watch our health. We'll probably pop at least 2. And if our health gets worryingly low, we just turn around and leave. And then when we get to Ash, we'll put down a ward, sleep, and heal. Because we got birch bark waiting over there. We got a couple more stims in case of emergency. But we're just seeing if we can just milk just a few more minutes. And I think better to do it here than waiting in the banishment circle, because that is guaranteed to get us hit with fear once we drop the pineapple. And I think fear plus toxic fog, you're gone in like a minute or 2. That's also the reason why we're not sleeping, is because we're going to be, pumping Astrid full of drugs and adrenaline, so she's not going to need that sleep for a bit. Eventually, she will very much need that. But yeah, this time I think the fog timer will hit 0 before the ward does. Ooh, okay. So when it comes to Ash, are we gonna do the climb again? Up from Homesteaders? Go up to Miner's Folly? Or are we gonna be all sensible? Because if we're... Well, we couldn't act... The only place we could loot Miner's Folly is the barn. So, I don't know if that's actually worth our while. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, fall. Now let's watch our health. Yeah, it is going down quickly. Yeah, that's right. Sorry if you don't like the sound of Astrid coughing, it's gonna be here a bit. Yeah, actually, that is considerable. God dang it, that is exactly what I didn't want. Okay, now let's try a stim. Okay. Now, so that was about 3/4 after the stim. Ooh, yeah. How long are we gonna have this? 11? Okay, 11 minutes. Ooh, we might have to do the second stim and then leave. This is brutal.
That can't be good.
I thought you were busy coughing, girl. Okay, 5 minutes. Jesus, we might be at heartbeat. How are we for paint? 2 and a bit. Okay. 2 minutes. Shit. Okay, no, we got to do second stim and leave. This is bad. As soon as I can see where it is I got to go. I hate stim vision. There we go. That was inelegant.
What was that?
I don't know. I can't see shit. Okay, now let me pick up my food.
Clearly not alone out here.
Okay. Yeah, that was bad. That'd be perfect in the vampire tournament. And everything. Yeah, I think that was exactly what I was thinking too. Like that rate of leading condition is just horrendous.
Something moving?
So take that. Sleep. Let's call it sleep for 4. Oh, we're not tired yet.
Not what I wanted to hear.
Now we are. Okay, there we go. Good old birch bark tea.
That can't be good. Give it plenty of space.
Okay, so we let the ward run out. drop a fresh one, have another birch bark tea, and we do another sleep.
What was that?
At that point, I think we might be good enough to start moving. But move where? Also, we're going to need to move quickly because, yeah, leaving the zone is going to get us closer to D-dubs. Where are we going to go?
Moving out there?
Do we go climb? Or do we take the normal route? Well, if there's Timbies by the fishing hut, we might be forced to go the up and over. Can't sleep with
Not what I wanted to hear.
if you have a ward down, the game will let you sleep. Otherwise, the game it'll wake. If you're sleeping and it gets close, if you're sleeping and it gets within 200 meters, it'll wake you up, and it won't let you go back to sleep. It says you can't sleep with anxiety.
Nothing good about that sound.
But yeah, as long as you got one of these down, the game is kind enough to actually let you sleep. If it didn't, the challenge would be much harder.
Space.
Okay, we have 2 stims plus go drinks if we need.
Hey, that can't be good.
Oh yeah, Tina is correct. Yeah, if he's more than 50 meters away, then yeah, you can put down a ward to sleep. You're fine. As long as it's only anxiety, a ward will let you sleep. If he's within 50 meters,
Better stay alert.
you should focus on leaving. Because yeah, sleep is, even if you could sleep when you're within fear range, you die real quick.
Clearly not alone out here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and it might be partly because it's on Voyager settings, but yes, the game treats it like if you were to
Not what I wanted
if you were to
hear.
start freezing while you were sleeping, I think on Pilgrim and Voyager the game will wake you up. But on Stalker and Loper, the game will just let you freeze to death in your sleep. So the game is kind-ish in that way. There we go. Look at that regen. Okay. Yeah, kind-ish. Kind adjacent. Let's see, where are we? Or not there. Okay, I have 1 3/4 cans of spray paint. And we know we have another can waiting at Anglers if we need it. So we could go juice or stim up the rope. Now, we'd be chased the whole way. Because as we know, D-Dubs does not care a fig about verticality. But as long as we have separation when we get to the top, we can zip to Miner's Folly. But what would we do there? Because we can't go into the house with the bunk bed. We can't go into Foreman's. We could go into the barn. There is, I think, a chance of a stim in the little med kit. But what would that do for us? We already have 2. Yeah, you know, the more I think of it, I might just pass. And instead, we giddy up, we go to the... Well, I might drop one more ward here, get a good sleep in, and then we just make for anglers and then the management spot. And we just drop wards basically until the fog kicks in. Yeah, there we go. And if there's issues with the fog and the fear, we do have... Yeah, we can preempt. We can eat some crackers, preemptively drink. How many birch teas do I have? 2. We can drink the birch teas. We can have a couple stims on hand, and we can tank enough damage to get through the final sequence. Okay. That is the beginnings of the makings of a semblance of a plan. Of the concepts of a plan, I should say. I like it. Hey, cuz. Welcome in. Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Hope your week's going all right. Let me give cuz a proper welcome as well. Yeah, don't mind us. We're just here.
This limb here's leaning really funny.
We're just killing time.
You're coming home with me. I think I'll chop it down. Okay, there's a bear. Okay, this is fine.
Oh, it's Petunia. Hi, Petunia.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm cool with a bear.
Okay, and while the clip was going, D-Dub started closing in on us. Rude, but all right. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh. Sleep. Okay, there we go. Basically fully rested. You taught the 7 Ps? Yeah, I've heard of those as well. But yeah, we'll just take some proper precautions and have backups just in case. But yeah, I think once Yeah, once the ward goes, we go. Oh, speaking of, maybe we can
Where are they?
nudge that along a bit. Apologies to those who don't like the gun cleaning sound.
Back away.
This isn't necessarily maximally optimal ward usage. But hey, this is a fun room.
Can't let it.
You try checking in-game. The status of the sun is in relation to the little visually at the top right corner. Okay.
Giant creature.
So, if we were to do this vampire challenge, you would want to make sure there's no sun showing in the dial on the top right. Like that is when you are eligible to just leave your coffin, so to speak. All right. Now, we might have to run.
Where are they?
Because I don't know where our... Well, actually, I was about to say we don't know where our paths are going to intersect.
Just back away.
We can actually do something about that, though. You think about it, but in-game for the first half of the sun, there's absolutely no sunlight. I mean, that's... Okay. Hi, Lucifer. Sorry. No time to play with you.
Space.
You say you're putting your limit progress skills to test a vampire burns mod? Hey, I mean, if you can make that work, I know you will have people who are very interested. Because you basically have the elements to play, oh god, it's a vampire survivor. Haha! No, you're a deer. You have the option of permanent night. You know, I said you turn off, as you're saying, turn off parasites, turn off food poisoning. And yeah, you basically got yourself a nice little... You have a survivor who can only go out at night, consume flesh / consume blood. You can be like our girl Pisha from from Bloodlines. You consume your victim's essence through their flesh. Especially whether it can be programmed at a specific in-game time, possible to damage whether they're considered being outside. As a recognition mechanism of what is considered interior exterior. Yeah, I guess because there is that break point of being inside versus outside, you could definitely do that. Now, how would you do that? I am not the person to ask. Basically, yourself to a Quajian from Legacy World of Darkness. Yeah. Although I guess consuming essence would probably be difficult to program in. Because yeah, consuming raw flesh would have to do. But honestly, given the overlap between TLD people and World of Darkness people, you can make that happen. And you would definitely have people who are into that sort of thing. I feel very confident in saying that. Circa B, you're preparing for a long hibernation, a long torpor, if you will. Must get as many calories within yourself as 30 days as possible. Highest calorie count wins. Yeah. So was depending on the settings, fingers crossed you get that rare moose carcass spawn in HRV. That's a goodly amount of carol. It's just there. Equation can get their substance by eating flesh is sufficiently yin aligned. Okay. Yeah, that I do not know. Tiebreaker being fewer calories spent. Do you... Is there a... Okay, we got calories expended. Do we have calories consumed? Well, I guess if you're doing... Well, you've got kilograms of meat consumed. I don't know if you have calories consumed. Yeah, didn't we have... Yeah, no, it was Jack of No Trades had that calories consumed tiebreaker as well. I don't think we ever got an answer as to how that was going to be used. Even though the magnets are the same damage outside, it could be... Oh, it would absolutely be a fun challenge. Because you exist at night. You have to exist as a predator. I guess is fishing allowed as per these rules? Can. Thank you. Do not need a hatchet. Tina very puts on a hard mode by taking efficient machine in that challenge. True. Fish have, yeah, fish, flesh. They do have blood, not a lot, but probably more than rabbits. Now, I guess the question there would be, is fishing the best use of your time? Okay. Place a banish glyph. No. So let's step over here. Drop that. So let's see, we have 2 stems and 2 birch teas. Nope, not yet. I just want to see if you're on the radial, as you are. Lovely. Okay, we got lots of crackers if we need to get thirsty. I have 2, I have 8 doses of spray paint. And we're at 50%. So yeah, we're gonna max out the fog. Excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna max out the fog before we run out of paint. The margin could be meat plus fish consumed, tiebreaker being calories burned. There, yeah, so who, yeah, there you go. Who was the most efficient hunter? Because you would be spending calories harvesting. But okay, um, one thing I can see, would it be, is cooking allowed? Because leveling up cooking gives you more calories per cooked item. So would you have to outlaw cooking if you were also going to if you're going to turn off food poisoning and uh, buttworms? Okay, okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, for like a bloody, yeah, they sure do. Now that would make fishing a better strat because calories per kilogram is usually pretty low. Um, oh yeah, the whitefish and like the rainbow trout. Yeah, they're usually pretty scrawny. Like if you're nabbing like largemouth bass or coho salmon, then yeah, it might be worth it just for the sheer tonnage. I'm not sure. Like, how's it compared to like venison or bear meat or moose meat? It should be a specific place. What is the most vampire crypt? Like, what is, yeah? What is the what's the most goth place in TLD? And don't say distempered flat cars. The most crypt-like. Hmm. Well, yeah, it would have to be somewhere protected from the sun. Underground would probably be ideal, but wouldn't necessarily have to. You were thinking black. Well, okay, we're going back to our previous conversation. Doesn't the prison have a basement? Well, it has the steam tunnels. I guess that could be. Let's see. Are there any underground spots in Ash? Not really. Timberwolf? Not really. PV, you got Skeeters, or you got Molly's Basement. Okay, because the farmhouse basement giving True Blood vibes. There you go. Um, Mystery Lake, not really, save for the dam. Milton, no. Broken Railroad, no. HRV? No. Muskeg? No. Molly's basement? Okay. Oh, wait. I can see an issue there, though. Doesn't doesn't Molly's basement have windows? That would be anti-vampire technology. Uh, they do have the hunting lodge cellar, but again, I think that has windows too. So yeah, you would want something like, um, yeah, like the basement in Crumbling or Skeeters. Oh, but those have windows too. I'm pretty sure they do. Hangar, yeah, the yeah the hang the basement in the hangar or bunkers. Yeah, the problem with the hangar or the bunkers is that you would be requiring people to have the DLC to take part in the challenge. Now, if you're okay with that, then there's your answer. And actually, the hangar basement might make a lot of sense because again, no wind. It's it's down deep. I don't think there's windows, and it's far enough away where there would be challenge to get there before the sun is up. Or if you didn't make it, you'd have to stop short in like either the cave in Transfer Pass or the cave on the road that is past that's past Wheely's Turn. If you couldn't find somewhere to hide by sunup, but purpose caches don't need the. I thought they did. I thought those were DLC. But I don't know that for sure. Well, again, some are. Obviously, like the Tails bunkers, those are definitely DLC. Yeah, I don't actually know. I would tab out and check, but I don't. I'm not sure it's gonna play well. We're trying to keep our eyes on the run. Yeah, yeah, I think the prepper caches were added before the tails. Yeah, I think my memory there is getting fuzzy. So I'm not sure. Okay. So obviously, like the prepper caches would be the play if they're in the base game. If they are DLC, what's our what are our options for a windowless location that would make a suitable place to end the challenge? Because yes, the Hibernia has windows. The Riken has windows. Lighthouse has windows. Aurora Mine could do. Do we need the Aurora? Okay. Oh, Fiat, welcome in. Also, Kaiser, Fiat is with us. If you want to ask your question. But yeah, honestly, yeah. If we if you really wanted to be sure, and you didn't want to chance it with the prepper caches, then yeah, I think the Blackrock steam tunnels would probably be it. Now you'd want to pick a somewhere in there, like a particular spot. But yeah, that might be it. The one in not bad, no guarantee. Yeah, or even just like the Aurora mine itself. You'd have the light coming in through the gate at the front. Although, if you wanted to make an Aurora happen, you could have them fix the transmitter in DP because there's batteries there, there's wires, there's fuses. You fix that, you force an Aurora, and then you'd be forced to travel during the Aurora through DP, through crumbling into coastal. It's a long way to go. You like this? You like the steam tunnels? Yeah, because it makes people go to Blackrock, of course. Fiat, you really like Darkwalker Challenge. You try to make it longer. You try to crowdsource my well, there you go. That's a DLC thing. Yes. The radio towers, the transmitters would be a DLC thing. So that, if you didn't want to make people use the DLC, that would be an issue. Yeah. If the prepper caches aren't, if the prepper caches are DLC, then yeah, I think that the steam tunnels are probably the safest bet. Just to have that the maximum participation. Because again, not everyone's going to have the DLC. Not everyone wants the DLC. I mean, I would strongly recommend getting it because I think it's pretty great, and it only enhances the game. But hey, people are free to disagree, or they're also free not to have money. Oh crap! I forgore. Fog is going to ruin all of our food. DLC users can have an advantage due to the inclusion of cougars and ptarmies. Although ptarmies would barely give you anything. And then like the fattest ptarmy I've ever seen is like a 1.2 kilos, something like that. You know, I think that's big. Yeah, and even the cougar doesn't actually have that much meat on it. It's a lean thing. You probably get more meat off a doe than you would a cougar. You probably get more meat off well, maybe not a big wolf. You just need to decide where to start. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like something you could leave up to the player, just have them spawn wherever, because they are probably going to have to be mobile to hunt enough to really. Oh, that was not a full box of crackers. Oops. Yeah, they'd have to be mobile to eat enough to be competitive, I would think. And yeah, I agree. Just leaving the cougar off would probably be the simplest way to go. Okay, we have our full regen going. The players will be like, if you can challenge probably tries the DLC. Well, most likely, yeah, but if someone does it and they want to take part in the tournament, it wouldn't be great to have them. Okay, things are being ruined. Oh well. It wouldn't be great to have them miss out just because they didn't buy a certain thing. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fog. Now we got 3 hours of restore condition, but I don't think that's going to do much for us. So how much do we want to push this? Because we've seen how fast our condition goes down. Actually, you know what? We were in very bad shape just getting a second stim in. Yeah, look at that. Look at that go down. Okay, here's what we do. Yeah, I don't think we can wait. All right. Time for the pineapple. And hopefully it just ignores that ward, or we're gonna have problems. Although, is it coming or what? Because this could be an issue. Here we go. So it turns out we were exactly at the same time. Yeah, so that ward absolutely fucked us. That's fine. Yeah, because we would have been, because it was at, yeah, Sophosticat was at like 8 hours 50 something. Okay, so what did we discover here? Other than, I guess, yeah, the banish does not override a ward. So yeah, we learned that if we completely ignore indoor cheese, 8 hours 45, 8 hours 50, that's probably about the best we can do. Because the only time we left on the board beyond being indoors was that 8% in the ravine. And that wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Yeah, so I think we stretched this about as much as we can stretch it. If we were going to do any better than 8 hours 47, our initial time, we would have to start engaging in indoor cheese. And I gotta be honest, that doesn't really interest me. So if you say Sophosticat did the same thing on her first run, okay, well, and see this is why we got a run on the board first. So we could, so if shenanigans happened, we wouldn't feel some sort of pressure to, rush through a run. Yeah, I think barring some inspiration or some new strat, I think I'm good with this challenge. I'll leave it to the min maxers and the hardcore. Excuse me. Hey Thor, good to see you. Yeah, we well basically we found out that not going inside but maxing out the fog timer in every zone basically gonna put you at 9 hours. You want to do better than 9 hours? You're gonna have to do the indoor cheese. Thomas, he was at 11 hours. Yeah, I think Slid's still in first in 12 hours 55 or something like that. But also, hey, good to see you, Thor.
However, if I ever get a chance to see Worf's reaction to a Kapla arse slap, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't enjoy watching it. Now I'm off to the holodeck to run the Quark Kira program for some sloppy simulations. The bridge is yours.
What the hell? For some sloppy simulations. We all know what he means by sloppy simulations. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm off for some sloppy simulations. What the fuck? This is
Yeah. Yeah, these are all real times. Yeah, real time. Real time times. Blech. So I think, according to Slid, there's like I think it's like a 15-minute real-time timer per building. And then you just think about how many buildings there are in Coastal, in Milton, PV. And as long as you have the paint, you can just drop a ward and wait. No, no, not necessarily. The what the reason people are spending time indoors is because indoor locations, mines, buildings, etc., they have their own fog timer. So you can go in there and max that out without increasing the fog timer for the zone in general. And each building has its own. Do you sleep? You can sleep. You can pass time, mend clothing, anything that passes time. But the most efficient way to, like, the way to milk the most real time is to do nothing. Everything else passes less real time. So it takes more time off the ward without giving you that credit for real time. Thought time. Okay, so in every zone you're on a timer. The longer you stay, the higher it goes. Once it gets to 100%, you get the toxic fog. That's what we were dealing with just there. When you got that black particulate matter floating about, that instantly kills all wildlife in the zone, even predators. It ruins anything that has caloric value, so any food, any beverages, including go drinks, any of that stuff in your pack automatically ruined, completely unusable, even if you have cooking 5. And as we also saw, it does a lot of damage to your health real quickly. So that's what keeps you moving. Now the idea is, and Fiat's wrinkle in this challenge is you're supposed to survive as long as possible in a challenge you're normally supposed to do quickly. So what I was doing is staying in each zone until the fog timer went to 100%, and then I left. Anyway, okay, we're gonna pause it there. I have some demos I want to play, so I'm gonna pause the recording here, put on some highlights. I'll be back in just a second. So Twitch friends, hang on just a bit. YouTube friends, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time, and bye for now.